Hi folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the Mighty Jingles. Today we're looking at the M4A3E8 Sherman, also known as the EZ8. It's the Tier 6 version of the M4 Sherman, and that pretty much describes it in a nutshell. I mean, it's everything that the Sherman was at Tier 5, except better and at Tier 6. Let's go and pull the Sherman up and do a straight comparison. You'll see that they're pretty much the same tank, just upgunned and upgraded for one tier higher. Significantly more hit points, 750 as opposed to 460. The same speed limit, great mobility, even more agile with a better turning speed than the M4, 40 degrees per second as opposed to 37. While technically it does have better armour than the M4 Sherman, 63mm at the front, 51mm at the front on the M4, it's still not a very well armoured tank at all. You'll be penetrated at every angle from everything that shoots at you. This thing's defence is not its armour, it's its mobility. View range, exactly the same. Signal range, exactly the same. Essentially, it's just got more health and it turns better. In all other respects, it's pretty much the same tank, except for one. And that's the gun selection available on the EZ8. As you can see, if you look at the guns available for the M4, you've got the 75mm, you've got the derp gun, you've got the 76mm M1A1, and that's pretty much exactly the same gun selection on the EZ8, except there's a new one unlocked, the M1A2. And we pull the stats up, and we'll see that it's pretty much just a natural upgrade of the Sherman's M1A1. Same caliber, they're both 76mm. The M1A2 fires even faster than the already good rate of fire on the M4 Sherman's gun. It's the same penetration, it's the same damage, it's slightly more accurate. It's still not great accuracy, but it's more accurate than the Sherman's. It's got the same aiming time. It's basically exactly the same gun, but it doesn't miss as much, and it fires even faster. So how does that make playing the two tanks any different? Well, it doesn't really. They're pretty much exactly the same tank. Just the EZ8 has been upgunned, slightly up-armoured, and made slightly more maneuverable for competing at Tier 6 as opposed to Tier 5. And you're going to find that if you play it the same way that you play the M4 Sherman, you'll do well. Tactics that you learn in the M4 will work just as well in the EZ8. It is a very, very good dogfighter because of that speed, and particularly that turning rate. Also the turret traverse. The turret traverse is almost as fast as you can turn it. So it is exceptionally good at circling around more immobile targets while keeping that gun and that turret pointed at it and pumping those shots out at 18.5 shots per minute and just pummeling them from the sides and rear. It's a very, very good tank for that sort of thing. Now, one of my subscribers has asked me to go in slightly more detail over the kind of modules that we use on these tanks, which is a fair enough request. I tend to go for the vertical stabilizer. On tanks like the Shermans and the Chaffee, I think the vertical stabilizer is probably one of the best pieces of equipment you can fit, because it's 20% to accuracy during movement and turret rotation. And to get the most out of the EZ8, in the ideal kind of fight that this thing gets involved in, it's dogfighting. It's constantly moving around other targets, shooting while on the move. And anything that aids your accuracy, which is better with the M1A2 gun than on the M1A1 gun on the M4 Sherman, it's still not good accuracy. Anything that enables you to hit those weak spots as you're circling around the big guys is a good thing. So certainly on these tanks, I'd say the vertical stabilizer is a must, if you can afford it. That awesome rate of fire, well, it only gets better with the medium caliber tank gun rammer. And your options are kind of limited. If you're not going to fit those, what are you going to fit? Well, toolbox, nah. Fuel tanks with CO2, nah. This thing never, you never get engine fires in this thing. View range enhancements, not really. You're not a scout, which spar liner, well, with the armour this thing's got, if you get hit by artillery, you're dead anyway. A spar liner isn't going to save you. Wet ammo rack? No, this thing's very rarely takes ammo rack damage, which kind of just leaves a camouflage net, which only works when you're stationary, and this thing should never be stationary. It only really leaves 3 real choices. That's the gun lay and drive, the tank gun rammer for faster loading time, and improved ventilation for an extra 5% of all crew skills. With this thing, I can't really see anything else that you'd fit on it. Nothing else really seems to match this vehicle, so those are the choices I go for. I mean, they're not necessarily the correct ones, but they seem to make more sense for the way the whole vehicle operates. So anyway, let's load up a replay and see how she does. So, the M4A3E8 Sherman, the Easy 8 Tier 6 medium American tank. Here we're in Erlenberg, and it's a assault defend scenario where the attackers, red flag on the minimap, enemy base. We have to capture the flag or kill all the enemy tanks. So I'm in a tier 6 medium in a tier 9 game. It's a distinctly hostile environment. Survival tips if you find yourself in these sort of circumstances. First, never ever go anywhere alone. So I'm wolf packing up here with a Panther 2 and a Type 59. They both totally outclass me. So I'm going to let them take the lead. And then we're going to shoot at whatever they spot. Good things about the Easy 8. Fantastic mobility. Rapid firing gun. Very good for harassing fire, which is basically what we're doing here. Now, it's very difficult for me to penetrate this T-32 from the front, but I'm not the only one shooting at it. And he probably can't see me, because I'm further back. It's the Panther 2 that he's occupied with, and Type 59 up on the hill there is also giving him some problems. So we've basically forced him to back off. Now that tells me that he's alone. I mean, he was in a bad position. He had fire coming from both flanks and the front. But he probably doesn't have friends. Or we would have seen them by now. So, oh, Top 59 took a hit. That's my cue to get the hell out of there. Your defense in the Easy 8 is not your armor. It's your mobility. It's your ability to get yourself where their guns are not pointing. So again, we're going to let these guys go forward, and I'm pretty sure at this point that that T-32 is operating alone. But don't take the chance. Let the other guys do it. You're a very small fish in a very big pond. There's the T-32 again. And again, it's going to be difficult for me to penetrate him. But I'm pumping the shots out so fast with this gun, it doesn't really matter. If all I do is keep it tracked and whittle a few hundred health points off, I've done my part. Still nobody here but us mediums, although there is a tank destroyer. I think it's just a Jagdpanzer though. Come on, finish him off. Right, he's looking for the Panther. So that Type 59 should be taking advantage of that. And he is, but slowly. Come on, don't let him get away. Trying to get his tracks, keep him pinned in place. And that's... there we go. Now, ooh, okay, we've spotted one of their artillery. Now they have 4 artillery. We know where one of them is. And we've just counter-batteried one of their M12s that got spotted. So what I'm going to do here... okay, the attacker's moving over off to the left there. I'm going to go hunting artillery. Judging by the way that T-32 behaved, he had no backup here. So I'm reasonably sure it's safe to go off alone. And start hunting for their artillery in the woods up here. And there we go, there's a Hummel. And a Lorraine. Where's the 4th artillery? 2 Hummels. Oh, sweet. Okay, here we go. Come on. And that is 75% of all their artillery knocked out by a tier 6 medium tank. And that is probably, I mean, that's a huge boost to the team. That's totally swung everything in our favour now. And that's what you've got to do if you're playing a tier 6 medium in a tier 9 game like this. You've got to look for the opportunities as they present themselves. You've got to make your own luck. Don't be stupid. Don't take chances. Don't go charging off on your own unless you know you can get away with it. Stick with the bigger guys. Support them. And if an opportunity presents itself, by all means take it. Oh, Pershing. Come on, come on. Oh, crap, he's pointing his gun at me. No, don't kill me, don't kill me, no. Whew. Thank you. Right, so there's only 2 of them left. Type 59's been spotted, and we're about to cap anyway. So, good game. Too often you see people thrown into these sort of games and they immediately get the mindset, oh, there's nothing I can do. Oh, I'm only in a tier 6 medium, there's tier 9 heavies everywhere. No, bullshit. Killed 3 artillery. Damaged T-32 and a Pershing. That's doubled, so over 1,000 XP. Tier 6 medium in a tier 9 heavy game. You are never irrelevant. There's always something you can do. Good players make their own luck, and that's down to reading the situation, knowing where you need to be to do the most damage, and being there. And it doesn't work out every time. You don't always know where all the enemy tanks are, and sometimes you take a chance, you see what you think is an opportunity, and it turns out to be a trap. But, you know, you can't win them all. You just have to do what you can to maximise your potential, and hopefully that's a good example of how to go about doing it. But yeah, the EZ8 Sherman, great tank, very mobile, fast firing, decent gun, ideally suited for getting around the sides and rear of vulnerable heavies while they're occupied with a bigger threat, and then pumping the shots into them. It's a lot of fun. This at tier 6, the Sherman Jumbo, also at tier 6, and the M4 Sherman at tier 5. I think these guys are the sweet spot for maximum fun potential in the American medium tank line. After this you get the T20 at tier 7, which is kind of just as weakly armoured, just as mobile, but it gets a 90mm gun, which is good because it's more damage, but it's bad because it's really slow firing compared to this. Yeah, the EZ8, fun tank. And as you can see, even in the harshest of battlefield environments, you can still do well with it if you bide your time, play sensibly, and jump on those opportunities when they present themselves. So that was the EZ8. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next time.